Hello and welcome to Doctor Who DVD reviews with Doctor Who the Fourth Doctor, and here I am back doing my reviews after a short little absence, and we're going to start with another one of my requested reviews. We are going to do The Masque of Mandragora. Now this is a story from Tom Baker's third season in the role, and this starts off the 14th season of Doctor Who. So we are 14th season. And this is a story that is, I think, mainly location based, if I remember correctly. Pretty sure, yep. And it's set in Italy, which is cool because I am part Italian, so it's pretty cool for me. And it is a great way to start the 14th season. I mean, it's not the best episode of the 14th season, because we do have stuff like Deadly Assassin and Talons of Wen Chiang there. These are the only three I have of the season so far. And I've watched Robots of Death, which is another great story. So yeah, I mean, it's a good story, but it's not the best story of the season. But anyway, so we shall get into this DVD. We've got the usual BBC logo, Doctor Who, Masque of Mandragora. We've got the Doctor, Sarah, some of the Helix energy up there. The evil dude of the episode, villain of this episode, evil dude, what am I saying? Villain of this episode shooting out some Helix energy because he gets Helix powers. And then that's the Helix that the Doctor and Sarah travel into at the beginning of the episode, or the first part I should say. Then we've got San Martino, which is Italy, this village there at the bottom. We've got our usual smiling Tom on the picture. Tom Baker is 74 to 81, and G for general exhibition, which means anyone can watch this episode. Okay, Doctor Who starring Tom Baker. BBC, The Masque of Mandragora by Louis Marks, who also wrote last year's Planet of Evil episode, which I have reviewed previously, which is a good episode. And here we got our new TARDIS console that appears in this episode. It's a pretty good console actually. It's the wooden console that only appears for this season, and it's off. Sorry, one season and that's all we get. There's the Duke character. We got Giuliano and Sarah. We get our villain there sitting on his pedestal, and the Doctor with a sword. And here we go, here's the plot synopsis, or the DVD blurb. After an encounter with the deadly Mandragora Helix, the Doctor and Sarah Jane land in 15th century San Martino. In the midst of danger, secrecy and intrigue, they witness the flowering of the Italian Renaissance. As the mask to celebrate the ascension of the new Duke approaches, the Doctor realizes that a third visitor has arrived with him in the TARDIS. It is a force with the power to wipe out human civilization forever. The Doctor has brought it to Earth, and only the Doctor can stop it. And I was just saying that the Doctor brought part of the Helix with him in the TARDIS. It actually sort of jumped into the TARDIS when they were trying to hide from it, sort of thing. Yeah, it followed them into the TARDIS, and that's part of the story. And then we get the whole story unfolding in 15th century in Italy. So this story was first originally broadcast on the BBC between the 4th of September and the 25th of September 1976, produced by Philip Hinchcliffe and directed by Rodney Bennett. Yes, it's very good, very well directed episode, very well written episode as well. Things I like, before we go into special things, things I like about this episode. The Doctor and Sarah's relationship has really matured in this episode. I think it's definitely maturing through the last season, although I haven't watched Pyramids of Mars yet. I did watch Brain of Morbius, which is a good episode. And Seeds of Doom, you know, like last season it was matured, but it didn't get much. The relationship didn't get, or at least the fourth Doctor and Sarah didn't get much development within Tom Baker's first season, because we've got Harry Sullivan with us as well, who was a great character. I did enjoy him. And then he leaves in Terror of the Zygons. I was going to say Vervoids, what was I saying? Terror of the Zygons, which is just before Planet of Evil, and then Planet of Evil's their first story separate. Then she gets a season worth of stories with the Doctor by herself, and then she is left, she goes back home, and then we get lead into the events of Deadly Assassin. So their relationship really matures over those stories, and I think it really comes to head in this story. Really, like, they're really like a father and it's like a father-daughter relationship, but a bit more. I don't want to seem like incestuous sort of thing, but you know, it's a really strong connection they have. The acting was all great in this episode. Tom Baker was fantastic in this episode. So was Elizabeth Sladen, great in this episode. Even the villain's name escapes me. I think I remember it. Sorry, I think it's Hippocrates. I'm pretty sure that's right. It's that bearded guy. I'm pretty sure it's him. Yeah. And the helix effects were done pretty well. I mean, you know it's an effect, but it still looks marvellous, even though it was done in 1976. Some great scenes here. The Doctor does a bit of a sword fight. It's pretty good. So all around the episode is really good. The episode is fantastic. It's a good episode. Now we've got the special features on here. We doesn't appear to be that many special features, but I will go through them. We've got commentary by Tom Baker, who's obviously the Doctor. Gareth Armstrong, who plays Giuliano, that's him. Philip Hinchcliffe, who was the producer, and Chris Deong John, I hope I said that right, who was production unit manager. Now, the commentary track on this is good. Tom Baker really leads the anecdotes and, you know, stories and all that. He really gets into it. Yeah, he sort of leads the pack. Philip Hinchcliffe's sort of there giving exposition, you know, this is how we produced it, this is how we did it. Same with Chris, I can't say his last name, but yeah, so that's what them two are doing. And Gareth Armstrong is sort of in there with some actors' anecdotes, but Tom Baker really leads the commentary track, and I feel that the commentary tracks he's on, he's really, you know, getting in with everyone. He gets along with everyone really well, I think. Next, The Secret of the Labyrinth. Cast and crew look back at the making of Masque of Mandragora. This is good. Tom Baker's in this as well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. And it's a good little making of to find out where they did, you know, the different shots and where they filmed the Italy, because I didn't go to Italy. Bigger on the inside, the history of the TARDIS. That's a good little feature. Now and then a return visit to locations used for Masque of Mandragora. That's just, you know, this is where we filmed. This is what it looks like now. Beneath the Mask, Gareth Roberts and Clayton Hibbert take the mask to task. That's a little bit of a joke thing. It's kind of funny, but it's on there, so I watched it anyway. Radio Times, the usual Radio Times billings, trails and continuity, production information, subtitles, photo gallery, and, you know, digitally mastered picture and sound quality. So special features on this are pretty good. Not the best set of special features ever. I mean, you got one making of and the now and then thing. You know what I mean? It's not that much. But we'll have a look on the inside. You get the same usual sort of stuff with this package. So you get the chapter points for each part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, 4 parts. The usual exposition information dump on the episode, a bit of history of the episode, information on who does the commentary track behind here. The disc is, as always, you know, Doctor Who Masque of Mandragora, same as the colour on the bottom. Usually always is. Just put that over here. So you get a bit of an exposition dump on each person in the commentary track, and then information on each of the special features. It's the same throughout every inside of every pack, except for 5 Doctors, I'm pretty sure, which comes with a nice little booklet for the anniversary edition. So yeah, that's the Masque of Mandragora. Now this review is probably a bit shorter than my last few reviews, so I didn't really go into like the season structure and all that, but this is only just a quick little review. And with my next review, we'll be reviewing Black Guardian box set, which will be definitely a bit longer, possibly 3 parts. I don't know how long I'll talk about for each one. It could just be one part, about 20 so minutes long. But that will be the next box set there. So yes, with this, this story is definitely about a 7 out of 10. 6.5 out of 10. It's definitely above average story, but when compared with some Tom Baker stories, it's not the best. It's not the best Tom Baker story by far. It's not the worst Tom Baker story. We've got plenty worse stories. Horns of Nymon looking at you. Sorry. So yeah, 6.5. 6.5 out of 10. That's good for the story, and for the special features, probably a 5, because there's not much on there. There's, you know, one making of, a bit of the TARDIS history, and then some jokes sort of thing. So 5 out of 10. That's still a good little, like the commentary track's really good on this. Even though some of the other people might not be as good as Tom Baker, thank God he was on there. Probably wouldn't be any good if he wasn't on there. And you know, the making of's really good as well. So yeah, 6.5 out of 10 for this story. Now, this is a good little story to get people in on, I think, for Tom Baker. Unless of course you want to start at the beginning, but then you'll be dealing with regeneration and all that. So if you want to start people with Tom Baker and a not too hard or complicated story, Masque of Mandragora is a good choice. Alright, thank you for watching my review on Masque of Mandragora, and stay tuned next time for my review on the Black Guardian box set. So we'll be reviewing that next time. Peter Davison Season 20 stories, and I will be going into a bit about what I think of Season 20, since I've had a few discussions with some of my friends about Season 20. We'll be going into a little bit on Season 20, so it might be in 2 parts, that video. Well, thank you for watching my Masque of Mandragora review, and stay tuned for my review on the Black Guardian trilogy.